Mengele, doctorul morții de la Auschwitz, a selectat 1500 de gemeni pentru a-i supune unor experiențe de laborator menite să perfecționeze rasa superioară. Eva Mozes-Kor și sora ei Miriam, deportate de pe meleagurile sălăjene, s-au numărat printre cele 200 de perechi de gemeni care au supraviețuit infernului din lagărul de exterminare. Părinții și sora lor au pierit în lagăre, iar tinerele care au revenit în Ardeal pentru scurt timp și-au căutat norocul în Israel. În vara acestui an, Eva Mozes-Kor, însoțită de un grup dornic să afle istoria Holocaustului, a revenit în Transilvania după aproape 60 de ani de absență. În templul martirilor deportați din Cluj, le-a povestit însoțitorilor experiența ei de supraviețuitoare în primii ani de după război și ne-a împărtășit câte ceva despre convingerile și obiectivele ei.
Every year, in June, we go to Auschwitz. I take with me 100 people, students, teachers, Jews, non-Jews, whoever wants to learn, not more than 100, and I tell them my story, and I tell them the fact that I have forgiven the Nazis, that a very shocking thing for many Jews, but I want them to understand that forgiveness is not to benefit the Nazis. Forgiveness to free me and every human being who is hurting, particularly Jews who survived, have the right to live free of what Hitler, Mengele, Haas, whoever the leaders in Auschwitz particularly were. So the forgiveness is to help the victim heal themselves. I talked about that. We met with two grandchildren of two Nazis, one of them Michael Worley, his grandfather was Mengele's boss, and the other one was Rudolf Haas's grandson, Rainer Haas. Rudolf Haas was the commandant of Auschwitz and a very brutal man. We wanted to see how the grandchildren of Nazis are coping and tell us how do they feel about the Holocaust and their efforts in trying to work against neo-Nazis gaining strength and power. And our group asked questions, they presented their opinions, and it was very informative for us to understand how the inheritors of the Nazi regime in Germany cope today, because I think there are a lot of problems. And we went to the selection platform. My son, whose grandfather was murdered there, was murdered by the grandfather of Rainer Haas. The grandfather of Michael Worley, Dr. Otmar van Bashur, the boss of Mengele, was in charge of my experiment. So we had all these interesting we signed and read and held hands on the selection platform that we are going to work to try to stop neo-Nazis from rising, neo-Nazis, terrorists, people who do not respect human rights from rising to power.
În anii 1980, Eva Mozes a înființat organizația Candles și muzeul omonim, menite să păstreze memoria copiilor evrei supuși experimentelor medicale în lagărele naziste.
I organized the organization for the twins in 1984, 30 years ago, because there were all these children who survived and had special problems, and we didn't know, nor do I know today, what we were injected with. And ultimately my sister died 21 years ago without finding out what was injected into her. Once she died, I wanted to remember her in a special way. So I opened the museum in Terre Haute, Indiana, which basically is dedicated to teaching the story of the children in Auschwitz, the experiments, and teaching that we, the survivors, can do something more to make our lives better. We call to heal the pain, to teach the truth, and to prevent prejudice in the future, prevent genocide in the future. On our marquee, we have a statement saying, forgive and heal, tikkun olam, which means repair the world, celebrate life.
My name is Kiel Majewski, and I'm the executive director of Candles Holocaust Museum and Education Center. It's a nonprofit organization. We have about 8,000 to 10,000 visitors per year, and we do educational trips like this one every year. On this trip, we have over 100 people from 22 different states, 5 countries, 3 continents, everywhere, age 12 to 80. And we, all different occupations, and we're all coming together to learn and to walk this path together of memory and of healing. With our museum, we teach a lot of students, a lot of young people, a lot of teachers to help them educate others better, and the general public as well, many different people. Our purpose in these trips is to help people, our members and our supporters, become witnesses to history by traveling to Auschwitz with the survivor and walking in her footsteps, so that when it's our opportunity, when it's our turn to share this story, we've all learned it and it's burned into our memory.
Eva Mozes a revenit pe plaiurile transilvane după 6 decenii de absență. Cu acest prilej a poposit și în satul ei natal, Porți, din județul Sălaj, unde în fața casei în care a locuit familia Mozes au fost amplasate pietre de poticnire, menite să le amintească trecătorilor că acolo locuiseră oameni deportați și uciși la Auschwitz.
I went with Eva to Auschwitz 2 years ago. I found her trip after watching her documentary, and it seemed like a really great trip, and it was a really interesting experience to not only go, but to go with someone that went through that. And that was a really once-in-a-lifetime thing, to go with Eva, and with her whole background, she's a different kind of survivor. I'm on this trip because I wanted to take photos and see where Eva was before she was deported and the other sites around Romania and Hungary. Seeing her hometown a few days ago was very interesting. We had a ceremony in honor of where she grew up and where her house stood for her parents and her family. We put memorial blocks in the ground so that her family won't be forgotten from where they came.
All the village turned out. I've never seen that many people in the village. It's very small, and they were very thankful, and young people stood up and spoke, and little children wanted to take pictures with me, and they gave me flowers, and I felt, as I told them, that I forgive them that nobody tried to help us 70 years ago. But I am very grateful that they came out to support a footstep, a little 6 stones to remember the Jews lived there.